Everyone knows that our planet moves and the rest of the planets do the same. Sebastian is a geologist that when he was living in Segovia, he decided to come to Bournemouth in order to improve his studies. Sebastian, how are you?
I'm fine, nice to meet you. Sure, I wasn't doing a mistake when I decided to come.
Why does the Earth rotate around the Sun constantly?
The Earth's rotation is the rotation of the planet around its own axis. The Earth rotates from west towards east. The Earth rotates because if it wouldn't rotate, there wouldn't be days and nights. I mean, it will be day in one hemisphere of the time and night in another. Because one hemisphere, when it's day in one, there's night in another. One hemisphere is directly towards the sun, while the other is behind, so the light doesn't reach it.
And why, when I return home in winter, it's completely dark, whereas in summer it does not occur? How can be that possible?
That fact could occur because in winter nights are longer, so they start earlier than in summer when they are shorter. We call this period when the Earth is directly towards the sun summer solstice. This usually happens around 20th and 23rd June in the northern hemisphere and 20th and 23rd December in the southern hemisphere. This occurs 2 times in a year.
It makes sense. So, does the summer solstice have relation with the place where we are now?
Stonehenge was built around 3000 before Christ and 1600 before Christ, and its purposes are still unknown. However, it's known that if you stand in the exact point, you can see whenever the summer solstice begins.
Would you rather like to add something else?
Sure. There's also another place in Mexico called Chichen Itza. The place was a major pre-Columbian city built by the Maya people of the terminal classic period. Chichen Itza was a major focal point of the northern Maya lowlands back then. And the ruins of that place called Temple of Kukulkan, there's a specific point where you can actually see when does the summer solstice begin, same as in the Stonehenge.
Alright, nice to meet you. I hope you success with your studies.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye. Angela and Clara are 23 and 32. They are both from Andalusia. Angela is from Sevilla and Clara from Cali. They are both studying in the London University. They have been here for 1 year and a half. Hi, are you Clara? Are you? Yes, I am. And I am Clara. Yes. So what we are doing now?
We are visiting the famous produce Abbey. As you can see in the picture, it's a Gothic style abbey. It's really beautiful.
And why is so important?
Well, I think it's because it's very ancient. It was built in the 13th century and it has been the traditional place of coronation and the burial site for the English monarchs.
And don't forget that many smart people, such as Samuel Johnson or Lord Milton, and that value to them.
Why do they live here?
Because they were great English writers in the English literature, as well as Daniel Keating, the writer of the Jungle Book. But we rather get inside.
Yeah.
And here we have the grave of Charles Darwin, who is known as the creator of the famous theory of natural selection, which says that all species from life descend over time from common ancestors.
And next to him is Stone, the famous Baroque music composer. Even though he was German, he spent his entire life in London. That is why he's buried here.
Where is Newton?
Actually, I don't know. Excuse me, sir. Here is where Isaac Newton is buried, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, this.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Isaac Newton is one of the most influential scientists ever, as he discovered the law of universal gravitation.
Could you explain how is it about?
Yes. How to explain this? It's a force that every celestial body has and attracts other objects to itself. In fact, everybody attracts one another, but we can't feel it.
Why can't we? Because gravitation is stronger on bodies that have a greater mass.
How can be possible that a simple planet move if nothing is pushing it?
To make it easy, the Sun, with a greater mass than the other planets, attracts those celestial bodies to itself, so that it keeps them revolving around it.
And so does the Earth with the Moon. The Moon keeps wandering around it thanks to the universal gravitation.
And one more thing, time passes due to gravitational force. However, this is a more complex concept.
One thing so interesting. Moving on. I have heard that Charles Dickens is buried here. Isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I like so much his novels. And my favorite one is Oliver Twist, followed by Christmas Carol.
I totally agree. Now I remember that a few years ago I came to Britain and I had the opportunity to study to scientists.
Really?
Yes.
What a coincidence. Tell me so well, girls. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much.
We are so pleased to you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Are studying photography. Marco came in a school trip and didn't want to return home in a small town of Cuenca. Whereas Pablo was living in Segovia, he decided to live a big change in his life. Okay guys, I hope you're having fun of this awesome experience, but I have so many doubts that sure you can solve them. Pablo, why do we always see the same face of the moon from the Earth?
Well, we all know that the Earth rotates on its own axis. So theoretically, the moon also do the same. Millions of years ago, the moon spun out much faster than it does now. However, the gravitational influence of the Earth has gradually acted upon the moon to slow its rotation down. The same to the moon, with much smaller gravitational influence acts to the moon, to the Earth to create tides. This influence slowed the rotational period of the moon to match its orbit, about 27.3 days, and it's now locked in this period. The moon is not fixed, but is rotating. Nevertheless, its rotation is the same as its translation period.
We can do a little experiment to check out this with you, Reyes. Imagine that you are the Earth and you stay on the same place.
And Marco is the moon, which rotates around you. He goes around you in circles, but always watching you. If you do it, you can see his back, and only you see the front side.
Marco, what connection has the phenomenal tides with the moon movement?
Well, the key to understand how the tides work is understanding the relationship between the motion of our planet, the sun, and the moon. As the Earth spins on its axis, the water keeps equal levels all around the world. By the gravitational Earth power pulling inwards and the centrifugal force pushing upwards at the same time. However, Moon's gravitational force is strong enough to disturb this, making the water to bulge. As the Moon rotates and as the Earth rotates, the bulge also moves. The sides where the bulge occurs experience high tide, and the other low tide.
Interesting. The last question. I have seen the turbines over there. How can we use the energy from them?
Well, here in some parts of the coast, there's more energy than others. So we use it to move the turbines that you have mentioned before. Tidal energy, it's a renewable energy. So, but it's still an immature technology. With advances in tidal energy, we not as rapid as other resources, tidal energy is less efficient than other resources that are mainly non-renewable.
Okay guys, so thank you so much. You have been very helpful. Bye.
Bye.